Hello, everyone. I had an idea of using a SSD and bringing that up to speed before my hard drive goes out. So I'm trying to transition from the old traditional hard drive to SSD. I ran into a couple problems of what I wanted to do, but there's two options. You can have the SSD here. Sometimes there'll be a slot already in your computer. A lot of times you'll have to make sure your boot, this is important, that your boot system can boot to a PCI slot. And then there's an adapter for this. Or if it cannot boot to the PCI slot, then you would use a solid state. This is SATA 3 connection for my computer. And then I would either clone the original hard drive to the new SSD. You can do that through Mac and Reflect, or put a new operating system on it, and you can boot between the two. And that software I use Easy BCD to boot between the operating systems. So I want the original. I want to be able to use it because it's all set up with all my customization. And I want to work on a new operating system, and that software will be able to, you'll be able to switch between the two, work on it when you can, when you feel like it. So when the hard drive does go bad, then you're not spending a week or however long trying to get something up to speed. So this will kind of give you a little time to get something up to speed, whether it's just a clone, that would be easy, or if you want to put a new operating system on it and customize it and get that ready. So I found out that I cannot use this card, but I'm still using it. I needed a couple hot fixes, that kind of thing. But I'm using it as a backup. To give you a little background, I've got 7-year-old computers and I got them used. And so the hard drives may get into the caution area, but thank goodness they're healthy. But that's what spurred me on to this project was, hey, I need to get something ready to go. I've done so much customizing with the context menu, programs. I've got thousands of programs, and I needed time to. I didn't want to get caught with not having any operating system and doing it all at once. But this chip here is I use with an adapter, and I'll get into that other video after this. This is kind of an intro to it, but it's basically going to use as an image drive or backup drive. So I use Mac and Reflect. I do a carbon copy of the operating system, and it goes right onto this card, this SSD card. So whenever I want to back it up, bam, it's right there. I don't need to get my 4 terabyte, drag it out, hook it up, that kind of thing. So it's a real easy backup situation. So if you have a normal hard drive that's in caution, this is a good option because even if it goes out, then you've got a backup right there. So I think for the real solution would just be put this alongside your hard drive, do a clone, you're ready to go. But I will show you how to set up this as a backup drive. Although a lot of like old Lenovo's laptops, they have a card slot just for this card. You got to be careful what you get though. There's videos out there to on your type of computer what the memory you need. There's a couple different types, and so you've really got to be careful in what you choose. I just know this one works for my HP 3130s, and that's what I use and I have it on both of them. I have an i5 and an i3. I use this card, Patriot 300, on both of them. I had a adapter for the PCIe. One of them I use a hotfix. The other one didn't need the hotfix. And I'll go through all that. I'll go through assembly of this. I don't have any assembly for this hard drive, solid state SATA 3. It's pretty simple. It's just the same as a hard drive, normal hard drive. So I went through the backup. I use Crystal Disk Info to check the health of your drive. So if you're suspecting it's going out, or just to see if it's in the cautionary stage, I recommend that program, Crystal Disk Info. There's a couple ones about the same name. HDD Expert is another one. Just find something that can kind of read your smart data or on your hard drive to see how healthy it is. Of course, I went through the Easy BCD. That's, you can boot through different menus. You can even have a virtual hard drive that you can boot to. I'm not sure how easy that is to make an image to another drive. So I just hook them up in parallel and work on the hard drives. Let me see. Yeah, make sure you look for an existing slot. You may need an adapter, and you got to make sure you get the right drive. So look at your manufacturer list, see what's possible. So I'm going to go through the steps on how to still make this drive work, just not as a drive C boot option. So what I'm going to use this for is just for like a image of drive C and kind of a general backup extra drive, a solid state. So you will need, since this is Windows, I've used Windows 7. Don't think any newer operating system really needs this hotfix. But basically, you would go to Microsoft Update Catalog, put in this number, KB308787.3. This is a hotfix for Windows 7 and these operating systems. So you would go pick the operating system, 64-bit or 32-bit. I did it because I have for 32 and 64, so I had to download both of these. But you just hit download, and then right-click, save link as. That should download it to your computer. Okay, the next thing is, since you're not going through the regular Windows update, you will have to have a script. You can go to About Author, Batch Code, Examples. Up here where it says Windows Update Script, click this, right-click Copy, and save that to your computer. But basically what this does is, let me go to this on my PC. Basically, it will stop the Windows Update service that will be needed to stop, and then it will load it manually. So you'd create a batch file, and with the contents, all this in a batch file, and then you'd put it on your desktop, and then once you have downloaded this, you would drag this on top of the batch file that you created. Either make a shortcut or put it on your desktop here, and then you would take your hotfix KB308787.3 version 2 and drag it on to the batch file, and then it will stop the service, then restart the Windows Update for manual, and right now the update is not applicable to the computer. So Crystal Disk Info. When you run it, it will have all the statistics, and if it's in good health, and the temperature, and these are all the settings. Pretty easy, you just run it. It does not pick up the SSD that's in the PCI slot. The adapter is here, and that's for my HP 3130 for the PCI slot. So let me show you the product here. This is how I kind of have it halfway assembled here. I wanted to show you the SD card, or the solid state, how that fits in. And I noticed that there was a little bow in it and wondered about the heat pads here. And I think I'm going to put like the thinner one on the bottom. So, no matter what size you are, they should come with these little heating pads to pull the heat away from the chip. And I lost the little screw here in my keyboard, and I had a time finding that. So basically I put the heating pad on the bottom, and be careful of this screw, because if you have something magnetic, great, but it comes with this little tool here, but it doesn't do that great a job at holding it down. So bear with me here as I try to not flick this onto my computer keyboard again and lose it. I lost it again. There's got to be a better way to do this. Maybe I will. I know you can't see it, but this is just really hard. I imagine you should probably put this on like a table, a big table, just in case this thing goes flying, because it just does not want to stay. And if it goes flying, don't have it near a keyboard, but got to have it for this demonstration. Okay, let's see if we can get this in here now. Try it this way. It's very awkward. There. Okay. So that's how I put it on. That's the only way I could get this thing on. So there is a little bit of play in it. So try to get it centered. I only see a little bit of the copper thing showing on the SD card itself. Okay, I tightened it down. That seems pretty straight. Before, I had a different pad in there and it kind of bowed just a little bit, but that looks pretty good. So I'm happy with that. So I'm taking, that was a thick one, I think. Or no, that was the skinnier one. I'm going to put the thicker one on top. So this pulls the heat from the chip, and it's kind of nice that it comes with like a heat sink here. So you just kind of lay it in there, and surprisingly, these all align really well. I don't have a lot of problem with the heat sink. It seems to go in no matter where I put it. So good design there. So this will go into my HP 3130. I've got a regular hard drive in there. These are old computers, so that's why I'm going this route. Okay. So that kind of looks, I don't know if it looks like it's bowed, or I don't know. Maybe I tightened this down a little too tight, because it does look kind of, it's bowed just a little bit. So let me adjust this. Anyway, the HP 3130s, if I haven't gone through this before, it's i5 and an i3. I think I'm going to change the i5. I've got a 32-bit Windows 7 operating system on it, and these hard drives are like 7 years old, and I got this used, and they're still running. So that looks good. It must just be the lighting that it casts a shadow, or there could be a low spot in there. but it looks like it's not bowing anymore. Just make sure it's tight. And there's a screw that before you put this on, there's a screw right underneath there that attaches the little this little rail, and this tool fits all the screws. And I had some screws left over. I don't know if these are for different configurations or what, but don't lose any of these small screws. Anyway, the HP 3130, they're like 7 years old. I got them used. I think they came from a school, and they are getting older, but they're still in good health. I use crystal disk info, and that'll tell me the error rates and in what condition they're in. And they seem good, but they are so old. They got to be, I know they're over 8 years old or more, and those hard drives are still, and I use them every day. I turn it off and turn it on every day. Sometimes I'll put it in sleep, but so that's pretty good. I'm really happy with that. So I'm going to put this in my PCI Express slot, and then I'm going to go through probably how I'm going to partition and all that good stuff next. So that's just a look at how you assemble this. That's it for now. Stay tuned for my next section. Next.